Good evening, everyone. Are you able to hear me? Please type in the chat in case if you're able to hear me. Okay, cool. So we'll begin in just 2-3 minutes. We're waiting for some more people to join in. Okay, so guys, let's start a round of introduction about myself. I'm Navneet, and I'm currently working at Boston Consulting Group, which is BCG, and I'm also faculty for FRM and Advanced Excel Modeling. So I have been teaching for the last 9.5 years, and I was one of the first few faculty members to be recruited by EduPristine's Delhi office, right? So today we're going to talk about risk in general, right? How to prepare for new arising risks in the economy, right? And we'll also talk about the certification which can help you out in getting FRM certification, right? So FRM certification essentially is a global recognition for your risk expertise. We'll talk mostly around that today, right? But just to give you a brief around, how the risk, how new arising risks in the economy, right? How the risk is arising in the economy is something which we need to discuss, and then we will subsequently see how people can be better prepared for these new arising risks, right? So leaders in public and private sector, they manage multitude of risks, right? And among these are high likelihood, high impact threats that don't come out of the blue, but instead follow a series of indications and evidence that such an event was on the horizon. Example could be 2008 financial crisis, right? Which are popularly called as gray rhinos because of their scale and probability. On the other hand, of the predictability spectrum are so-called black swan risks, which are characterized by the extreme rarity, severe impact, and improbability, such as the use of civilian aircraft in the 9 by 11 terrorist attacks. So these are all extreme rare events. Right. Now, recognizing that attention and resources are focused on managing immediate crisis, we will mostly, a risk manager mostly focuses on unique kind of risks alongside the predicted and almost impossible to predict frontier risks, risks that emerge at a frontier as technologies surface or human and societal forces shift. These risks are characterized by their unknown likelihood, unknown impacts, or you can also call it unknown. In fact, both could be the both could also happen, right? So there are at least four critical realms in which humans are advancing, and for which there is no for which there is more limited I won't say no understanding, but there is a lot of limited understanding on whether, when, and how specific risks could emerge. The first is advancing into new territorial and geographical frontiers. Second is breaching ecological and environmental boundaries. Third, expanding frontiers in human communication through social networks and artificial intelligence. Fourth, reaching a new human technology frontier. Example, genetic enhancement. Additionally, in many cases, potential risks will lie at the intersection of frontiers. Frontier risks could manifest as an extreme version of a known risk or as a completely new phenomenon, and its emergence could be rapid, gradual, or non-linear. Right. Examples of frontier risk could include fallout from militarization of outer space or unforeseen damage from artificial intelligence weaponry. Risk that would carry harms if manifested, but for which the likelihood is totally unknown today. Right. So, breaching ecological frontiers could also bring about risks. Example could be a massive methane release if permafrost melts quickly. Right. So, new frontiers in human communication challenges could emerge as risk with unknown characteristics and totally unknown outcomes. So, talking about risk and how you can prepare as a student or as a professional, we need to understand what could be the best solution so that students, professional, everyone is well prepared with such forms of risk, right? And these risks could are very well elaborated in our certification, which is FRM. So we'll talk mostly around FRM today, right? And uh, we'll talk about FRM program, about EduPristine, and if you have any contact, I mean, if you need to contact people, we'll also share the contact information. So, any questions up till now? So, if you have any questions, you can always type into the chat box, and I will answer that. Cool. So, FRM is a certification which is provided by GAR, which is Global Association of Risk Professionals. Right. So, GARP responded to these the demand of market requirements and outwardly demonstrated that the view of risk management should be continuously evolving. It is not something which is static. It continuously evolves, and it encompasses various product innovation which change as market changes. So FRM syllabus is revised very frequently, and it essentially responds to the market requirement, right? And more importantly, how do you apply those in practical scenarios, right? So last 2 years have seen a rapid growth, and a rapid demand has been growing for a skilled risk manager worldwide, not just in India but worldwide. So GARP was founded in 1996, and it has more than 200,000 members today, right? It's a premier certification which is recognized by risk professionals, risk companies across the globe, across 190 plus countries, it is recognized. So FRM serves as a benchmark when you are evaluating someone on risk management, and more importantly, financial risk management. A certified FRM, no, he or she has requirements in various sectors of or various verticals of the industry, like investment bank, commercial bank, asset management, insurance, security regulators, hedge funds. IT companies also require FRM people if they want to build any risk management products. Right, credit rating companies like TISL, you know, sorry, credit rating companies will also employ FRM as a they 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 um, they recognize FRM as a certificate globally. So, with the increasing awareness about FRM program among the corporates, the certification really plays a crucial role, right? When it comes to getting a job or getting placed in any risk management company. So, about FRM, the eligibility, the minimum time to pass is 6 months. I mean, that is the best case scenario, wherein you can clear the exam in just 6 months. But on average, people take around 1.5 years to complete. You just need to be an undergraduate, right? As in, even if you're undergraduate, you can appear for this exam. So even if you're in first year, you can appear. For part two, you need to have cleared FRM part two, definitely. In order to get FRM certified and use FRM acronym after your name, you need to have these three things. One is obviously pass both the part one and part two. You need to have active membership of GAR, and you need to showcase a minimum of 2 years of work experience in the field of risk management, right? It can be any risk management field, as long as you're able to justify that your profile has some kind of a risk management, you will be able to get the fellowship, right? And in fact, a lot of candidates, a lot of students ask that, okay, I do not explicitly work in risk management, will I be able to apply for FRM certificate? My answer is yes, because no department, no industry is void of is devoid of the risk management. So even if you're doing some documentation, there is a documentation risk involved. So you can always showcase your experience in terms of risk management. It is up to you how you are showcasing your experience. Okay. Any questions up till now? Anyone? Please type into the chat box. Cool. Now, FRM is a leading certification for risk management, as we've already discussed. It is consistently in demand by almost all the major banks and firms in the world. They require FRM certified people because because FRM certification is a testimony to the fact that you have sufficient knowledge about risk, right? So you need to you need to have knowledge and skills which are up to the latest international standards, and you can obviously connect with expert risk professionals once you buy the membership of GAR. There are a lot of career options in risk management, like you can move into trading, structuring, modeling, treasury. You can also go up the ladder and become a CRO of a company. You can also join as a senior risk analyst. You can move into operational risk, investment management, risk management, and there are a lot of other areas which open up opportunities after you clear FRM. Okay, one question I have is, what about trade risk reporting? Would it be counted in 2 years? Yes, definitely it will be counted in 2 years. If you're already working, fine. I mean, you can just showcase your experience. You don't have to wait for 2 years. If you have already completed 2 years, you are eligible for that. Okay. Also, FRM will help you to create a very strong CV, in the sense that even before you graduate, if you complete your FRM, it will at least help you to get some internships before you get into a job. And preparing very strong CV will go a long way in getting placed in a reputed company, right? So after 2007 2009 crisis, there was a huge demand for global risk management, right? So global risk managers, but the supply is very limited, so it's very essential for you to complete this certification as soon as possible. So talking about the various topics which will be covered in both the parts. Part one is divided into four categories: quants 1, foundations of risk management; FMP, which is mostly around financial markets and products; and valuation and risk models, VAR. So another question: can I give exam after graduation? Yes. So once you are in college, you will be able to give the exam whenever you want to. First year, second year, last year, whatever. So as I was saying, the exam, it contains four parts, right? Quants and risk management, they are 20%. They have 20% weightage, whereas financial markets and products and value at risk, it is 30%. So out of 100 questions, you will be getting 20 questions from each quants and foundations of risk management, whereas 30 questions from each FMP, which is financial markets and products, and value at risk, right? Part 2 contains 80 questions, right? And it is divided into market risk, credit risk, operational risk, liquidity risk, risk management, and current issues. And their weights are also, market, credit, and operations. They are 20% each. Liquidity and risk management 15% each, and current issues is 10%. Right now, talking, I will focus majorly on part one, right, because that's why we have gathered here. So for quants one and sorry for quants foundations of risk management, which have 20% weightage, and financial markets and value at risk have 30% weightage. A lot of students believe that if they perform 3 out of 4 and they do not perform in one of the topics, you will clear. But that is a myth. GARP says that you need to perform well in all the 4 sections, right? Which means if you fare very badly in one and fare very well, or if you fare even excellent in the remaining 3, you will not clear the exam, right? So there's a strict guideline and strict protocol in terms of who clears and who does not. So if there are 100 students appearing in a particular exam in a particular part, let's say level 1, then GARP will rank each of the students in quants, foundations of risk management, FMP, and valuation of risk. Right now, if there are 100 students, GARP has a certain quota. Let's say it intends to pass out only 50% of the students. Let's suppose, which means you need to be in top 50% in all the 4 subjects each, right? So if there are 1,000 students, then you need to be in top 500 in at least, in fact, in all the subjects. If you are, let's say, in bottom 25% in any one of the subjects, then you will not clear the exam. Which essentially means that even if you are in top 25% in 3 subjects, but in one subject you are in bottom 25%, you will not clear the exam. But if you are in top 50% in all the 4 topics, then there's high chance that you will clear the exam. No one knows what's the passing criteria. No one knows how much you have to score. But over the years that I have been teaching FRM, I at least have some kind of a belief that if you are scoring in top 50% in each of the topics, you will clear the exam. Okay. Any questions? So guys, I will take a pause of 2 minutes. In case if you have any questions, please type into the chat box. I will wait for 2 minutes. Okay, so I have one question. On what basis is the cutoff selected? See, uh, GARP has never come out with the proper cutoff criteria. But what I believe is a valid argument is they don't intend to pass all the students. They only intend to pass 40 to 45% of the students, right? Which essentially means that if you're in top 45% or 50%, you will be selected. Does that answer your question, Smith? In CA, there is, I guess, 8% cutoff, right? Uh, Comparatively, it is very high in case of GAR. The questions are multiple choice. Every question has only one answer one correct answer, and there are no negative markings. Cool. If there are no questions, then we'll move to the next slide. So the exam would be conducted from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. for part one, and for part two, it is 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. As I said, for part one, there are 100 questions, multiple choice questions, and every question has just one correct answer. For part two, there are 80 MCQ questions, and same, no negative marking, only one correct answer. It is necessary if you're appearing for both the levels or both the part one and part two together, then your part one paper will be checked first. If you clear it, only then your level two question or level two paper will be checked, right? And both the parts are held in May and November. But I guess now level two is more towards December. So yeah, we can update this slide. So the weightage we've already discussed that for part one, the foundations of risk management and quants, there are 20 questions each, and for FMP and VAR we have 30 questions. The exam is a percentile, as I said, it's you have to be in top 50% for quartile two. So quartile one is top 25, quartile two is top 50. Between 25 and 50 is quartile two. Between 50 and 75, it's quartile three. And the bottom 25%, which is 75 to 100%, is quartile four. So these are the exams, cities and centers, right? Wherein in Delhi we have just one center, but yeah, depending upon the COVID situation, this will be updated. Any questions, anyone? Cool. So these are the dates for the current fall. The registration for November and December has already opened. Right, so there are three slots in which you can register. First is the early slot, second is, and then there's a second slot, and there's the last slot. The early registration is already closed, right? And the second registration date is on is till 30th of September, which is this month. Post which there will be last registration date till October 20th. The FRM Part 1 exam will be held in a window which is from November 13th till November 26th, whereas Part 2 will be held from December 4th till December 10th. You can choose one date, and that will be in this particular window. Talking about registration fees, your level 1 or level 2, right? If you're appearing for FRM, you need to register first, right? So the registration cost is $400, and then depending upon when you are registering, your registration fees would be $550 or $750, and the same goes for part 2 as well. In case if you want to defer it, then there's a deferral cost of 200, which means you have registered for a certain date and you want to defer to the next year, then you have to pay extra $200. Does that answer most of the questions, I guess? Any questions, anyone? Have a look at the slides and let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, the deferral fees is $200. Okay, any other questions, anyone? Okay, so now we're going to move to the next slide. So what are the different reading materials which you can follow for this particular exam? Right, so the core reading of FRM Part 1, Part 2 combined is 4,000 pages, which also include a book by Philip Zorian, uh, which is around 800 pages, right? Then John C. Hull has the options, futures, and other derivatives, which is 700 pages. But there are must-haves, like you can buy GARP AIMS, which is a short form for the different modules in this particular topic, FRM practice papers, and you can also have a proxy of last year exam papers. Then we have calculator, which is generally we use Texas calculator from Texas, Texas BA2 plus and BA2 professional. So along, if you register for the course, you will also get material, printed material from EduPristine, and along with that, study maps, which will help you to revise the formula during the exam. So around, I mean, there are more than 50,000 GARP members. So this is from 2018. So in 3 years, we have easily crossed 50,000 GARP members, and it is spread around 190 countries, more than 190 countries and territories. More than 250,000 members are there currently in the GARP community. So it's a huge community wherein you can network with people. You can have you will get invited to special events, wherein you can go and talk to people who have been in the risk industry for almost their entire life. So it will give you good exposure, and that is what is really important when we get into risk management field. So this is interesting. This is the historical pass rate. So from 2006, 17, sorry, 2016, 17, 18, and 19. If you see roughly, in the month of May, there was the passing percentage was around 40-43%, whereas it's increased slightly in the November fall. Maybe the number of students appearing also rose. So that is around part one. In part two, average 50 to 55 students per 100 students they pass. The success rate in case of part two is significantly higher than that of part one. The growth of FRM, has, or in fact, the risk management in general has seen a very steep curve, steeply upward, right? And starting from 2009, there's almost been, I would say, 200% increase in the number of people who have been registered. Now, top companies who hire FRM. Some of these are Indian companies like ICICI, sorry, ICICI. Then there are a lot of other international brands like Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, right? Bank of America, then Bridgewater Associates. That's a global hedge fund, and the top four companies like PwC, Deloitte, EY, KPMG. Right? These companies always hire FRM candidates. Any questions up till now, guys? Okay. So as you can see, there are a lot of companies, and in fact, the list is too big to be fit into just one slide. Now let's talk about EduPristine. EduPristine is one of the largest, oldest, and authorized FRM exam training providers in India. Right? It has trained almost more than 1,500 FRM candidates every year. It trains every year these many candidates. So EduPristine is a member of EdTelem Global Education, which is an NYSE listed company, right, headquartered in US. EdTelem is about $3 billion company, which has 9 institutions and around 16,000 employees spread across 145 locations. Right. So with EdTelem at the forefront, it's definitely a big bonus for students who are appearing for or who are taking classes from EduPristine. EduPristine was founded in 2008, and it has very strong online and classroom training platform. So there are also soft skills and placement assistance once you enroll for this course, and there's strong online platform and network of classrooms across India, which means if you're enrolling in Delhi or Bombay, you can take classes anywhere in India. The content is quite comprehensive and it is regularly updated, right? And all the faculties which are taking these classes are industry experts, and they've already cleared FRM exam. The batch size is around 20 or 30 students, so that it helps a good healthy interaction between the faculty and the student. You'll be given exclusive access to the videos. All the classes are recorded, and you will have the videos through LMS, and the validity of it is 1 year from the date of enrollment. Okay. Any other questions on this? Okay. Any questions, anyone? Cool. So, moving ahead. So, we have delivered trainings across different companies like KPMG, ENY, Bank of America, JP Morgan, right? And we also delivered at HSBC, Credit Suisse, right? In most of these industries, in most of these companies, we have trained people in FRM, Excel modeling, and CFOs. We have also delivered training from premier institutes in India and abroad, like ISP, IIT Delhi, NUS, which is National University of Singapore, IM Calcutta, right? So there are a lot of institutions, a lot of colleges, premier colleges, which also take support of EduPristine. So in the soft skills training, you will essentially be helped in a lot of areas like how do you upskill yourself, how do you present yourself, right? What is the intent of communication? How do you communicate with clarity, openness, right? And it essentially is a class where it will help you to gain more confidence and prepare you for interviews and maybe group discussions if there is any. So we have LMS, which is Learning Management System Access, which will be given to you once you enroll for the course. Then round the clock, you can always ask questions. So there will be discussion forums when you can post topics. There's support team which is really very helpful, and there's after the course engagement. So once you complete the course, you can again you have the access for till 1 year. So you can again go to the LMS and revise all the content. The faculty are topic experts, and they are specialized in their own areas, right? They're experienced and certified professionals, and the average feedback which a faculty gets is upward of 4.7 on 5. on the scale of 12. There's a career guidance team which helps in placement assistance and provides 100% support through helping how to build your resume, how to prepare for interviews, and if there are any placement lead, you will always be given that placement lead. So you will have all these for 1 year till the time you have the access to LMS. So the training is for 15 days, 75 hours. So every day we'll be training 5 hours, and the course is for weekend session, right? So Saturday and Sunday both you will be given 5 hours. So it can also be on only on Sundays. It can be a banking batch also, wherein only those Saturdays where it's a bank holiday we'll have the class, and Sunday we will definitely have the class. So every day there will be five hours lecture. In total 75 hours we'll be completing the course. Then we'll also have a crash course which is for 15 hours. There'll be four mock tests, right? Or four mock tests, sorry, not mock tests, four mock tests, which you'll have to take before you complete before you appear for the exam, right? The same goes for online session, wherein you will be getting all the topics and all the facilities which a classroom student gets. Any questions? Okay. So these are certain testimonials from the students who have appeared for FRM from EduPristine and have cleared the same. Cool. So any questions, anything which you have a doubt, you can always connect with EduPristine support, right? This is the number and this is the email ID. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask right now. Okay, it seems there are no questions. So guys, thank you for the day. All the best for your preparation.